This is the BKT-2286 propane bracket. It fits multiple propane tanks like this one here. This one's an 11-pound Manchester. There's Flame King, Worthington, and others, but those are the main ones. And so it's a very universal bracket. It also fits the, I think it's called a 4¼ pound, where it's this tank that's chopped right here. And so it's a really short tank, and so then in that case, when you put this strap on, you're going to put it down and mount it here. One of the issues that people have initially when they first use this bracket, what I would suggest is you start the strap in the middle location. In the middle holes, just like there's 6 here, just like this. Put them in the middle and start there. The other thing that makes this bracket very universal is on the bottom of these bottles, these propane tanks, this ring comes in different diameters. So there wasn't any one slot we can make this. So this has a kind of a universal sliding channel for the different base rings. And then this slot here is for that half bottle that I was talking about, that 4¼ pounder. So the issue that people have is they'll call and they'll say the strap is too short. And it's just because that's the first time they're using it and they haven't just kind of stretched this whole thing out. So here's the Manchester. The ring, whoops, goes in this, and if there's a different size ring, it'll go somewhere along that surface there. And what we're trying to do is wherever it lands on that surface, it's pulling the base in towards the bracket when the weight's pushing down. So here's a typical first attempt. Is they pull this thing, and we recommend grabbing it by the lock tab here, pulling it, and it's just not going to reach. Well, if you look in here, you'll notice that there's a big, huge gap between the tank back and the rubber, pretty much the flat rubber bumper back here, right here. And so what we suggest to people to do is to get their tank on its back and just push it down and get it seated. Get it seated. And then you can adjust this latch, and we'll just adjust it out by just turning this threaded part out. And then make sure the strap is aligned. It's not like cocked up here or cocked down. It's all aligned. Everything's all aligned straight. And then you should be able to catch that easily. And then when you do this, you'll notice that, man, it fits pretty well, and it actually is kind of loose. So I've just kind of set everything in there. The tank is kind of set in the bracket. Now I can actually take this, and I'll probably end up, like in this case, having to tighten it a little bit. And also I'll go in, what was it, 5 turns, and try it again. It's a little bit tight. Let me go back out a couple turns. Let me tighten this so that the lock tab comes right through that slot. Okay. So right now that's perfect. All right, now that we've got this tension adjusted, you can see there's threads coming through, and we've adjusted it. Now this little nut here, that's a lock nut. And if I don't tighten that, then vibration will just allow this thing to come out. And if I ever drive around with no tank in the bottle, that that's going to come off and we'll lose it. And it's happened before, believe me. So we got everything adjusted. I'm going to tighten this nut, the lock nut, and I'm going to get a 10mm wrench or just a little crescent, something, even pliers, and I'm going to lock it down. Okay, doesn't have to be super tight, but it has to be locked. Now that's never going anywhere, doesn't rattle. Okay, so don't forget, the last step is, once it's adjusted, tighten that lock nut down. This is your lock tab. If you wanted to, you can put a little lock through there and just keep honest people honest walking by your tank. From now on, when I put this thing together, now that everything's set, I'll be able to put the bottle in. I'll know that this is set correctly, and if this is mounted to my trailer or whatever, I'm going to be able to push on it just a little bit, and that's how it should work.